As I call him, less is more. Less more on guitar. Less is more. Very clever stage name, Les. Very good. And before that, the Shakers from Liverpool, England. Red Sails in the Sunset and rock and roll music. Hey, the Shakers just returned from London like yesterday or the day before. They were finishing off their new album of original material down there. I think they're going to mix in some rockers with that too, some classic rockers. That's Tony O'Keefe on drums for the Shakers, keeping it beat, as Tony always says. We'll hear more from the Shakers in Ichiku Park later in the show, so stay tuned. You're listening to the Beatle-Ed Fab 4 Hour in WRKC in Wilkes-Barre, PA, USA. We are not your average Beatles radio show. And Tim Husty from Wilkes-Barre is not your average 21-year-old musician-songwriter. Tim will be joining us live here in the studio in a few minutes. He's got a new CD out called A Step Back, and it sounds like it was recorded back in the 60s. And you know I love this kind of stuff. So when I heard this CD, I had to get him on the show. Before I bring Tim on, let's play one of his cuts off of A Step Back. One of my favorites, maybe my favorite on the album. It's called I'm Done, with some fine harmonica work as well. Here's I'm Done. I'm Done by Tim Husty. Tim is live in the studio with us tonight. Hey, Tim, welcome to the Beatle-Ed Fab 4 Hour.
Hey, how are you doing? Thanks so much for having me.
Good to see you here, buddy. I am so blown away by the fact that you not only wrote all these songs on this album, but you produced it, you sang all the vocals, you played all the instruments, and you're just 21 years old. Where does all this talent come from?
Well, growing up, music has always been a huge part of my life. My dad's been instrumental in that, no pun intended. It's been such a major part, and I grew up, loving and appreciating the music and sounds of the 60s, and when I came to it now, I thought how awesome it would be to try to bring back, the sounds of the 60s myself while trying to, give a modern edge to it. So that was the whole point of the album. So.
Well, you have a unique blend of Paul McCartney, Jerry Rafferty, Boston in your style. What recording artists in your life have had the biggest influence on you so far?
Wow. As far as the 60s, I guess we'll stick with the 60s for now, with the theme. Obviously, the Beatles are huge inspiration. I think they're a huge inspiration for anyone, in the
For
music
sure.
field. For
That's
sure.
how I got this show.
Yeah, that's true. Beatles, the Kinks. I love the Kinks. The Zombies. Tons of stuff, and even before that, stuff like gypsy jazz, like Django Reinhardt, and old jazz standards like Nat King Cole. Huge Nat King Cole fan. And I love stuff, up until now, modern day stuff. Foo Fighters, Jet. It's endless. I love everything.
Now, we just played I'm Done, which is one of my great favorites on the album. Tell us a little bit about that song that has that great harmonica part and that great John Lennon hook in it.
Yeah, that's good that you said that and mentioned that. As far as the hook, that's exactly what I was going for, trying to go for that raspy John Lennon sound. The song itself, it was really focused around that harmonica riff that I came up with, and then I came up with the matching bass line and the twangy, clangy guitars that real compressed guitar sound that kind of lingers on in the background while you're listening.
Now, Tim, you're performing live in the area with a band called Three Imaginary Boys. Tell us a little bit about the band and how it formed.
Well, the band formed about 5.5 years ago. In that band, I am mainly the drummer and the lead vocalist, actually. And my brother, Rob Husty, is also in the band. He is lead guitarist, and he also does vocals. But as far as the live shows go, it's anything goes, because we all play tons of instruments, and we love to switch up instruments. I'll go on guitar or whatever, and my brother will switch on drums, and next song we'll switch out, and I'll be on bass, and the bass player will be on guitar. So we love doing that. The band itself is mainly we do original stuff, but it's mainly more of a 70s rock, classic rock kind of sound that we do, while again making it modern too.
You've got this album, the 60s sounding album, and you've got a couple other albums. Are you shopping around your music to some major labels in New York or LA or Nashville?
Yeah. Currently we're working with some people in New York City. I don't want to say anything yet.
No
but,
trade secrets on this show.
Yeah.
We don't want to blow the deal for you.
I don't want to say anything yet, but we're definitely hoping for the best and keeping our fingers crossed.
Well, I'm glad we got you now to come on the show, because when you hit the big time, you're going to say Beatle who? And I never heard of WRKC.
No
so
way.
We got you early. All right, the next song I'm going to play here, which comes off of the album Step Back, is called Maybe My Baby's Gone. And I got to tell you, Tim, I'm playing this tune at my house this week, and Mrs. Beetlehead, who has an ear for spotting good material at a mile away, she said, "Who is that? I really like that." So, Tim, that's a good sign for you.
Thank you, Mrs. Beetlehead.
Tell us a little bit about Maybe My Baby's Gone before we play that.
That one definitely focused on vocally. That's a vocally focused song, and I wanted to give it that real Paul McCartney crooning kind of sound with the vocals. So.
Well, you set your goals high, don't you?
Thank you. Yeah. I wanted to keep it myself, but influence-wise, I was definitely going for Paul McCartney sound on that. So yeah, that one was a ton of fun to record. I love doing that one.
All right, well, let's hear it now. Maybe My Baby's Gone by Tim Husty, followed by Who You Are, the softer side of Tim Husty. Tim Husty, Who You Are, and Maybe My Baby's Gone. Tim's from Wilkes-Barre. He's live in the studio with us tonight. His dad is here too, master promoter. Big McCartney fan too, Dad is. See, we all come together at some point or another. It's bound to happen. Tim will be back later in the show to talk with us again for a few more minutes. But right now, how about some Beatles in the news? For the third straight year,